G'day, Year 11. How you going? Welcome back. We're going to continue with our topic on time, building on last lesson, which we looked at latitude and longitude. Remember that latitude is flat, horizontal, parallel lines around the Earth. Longitude is vertical, and forms meridians that meet at the North and the South Pole. Okay, we use the equator as 0 degrees for latitude, and we use the prime meridian that goes through Greenwich in England as 0 degrees longitude. Okay, if we are north of the equator, then it's the angle from the center going up north, or if we're south, vice versa. And if we're east, okay, to the right, if north is up of the meridian, then we're east, and if we're to the left, then we're west. So what we've got to do here is we're going to put those together. I'm going to write them as coordinates. So list all the points that lie on 35 degrees north, parallel latitude. So we've got this line just here. So all the lines that lie on that parallel latitude is A, B, and C. So A, B, and C are all have 35 degrees north. Okay, the meridian of 120 degrees east is the parallel line. Sorry, not the parallel line, the vertical curve going down here. So we have D, we have B that also lies on that line. We have E and we have F. All of those points lie on that particular meridian. And then both the 35 degrees north and 120 east, the only one that lies on both is B. Okay, you can see B is at that intersection of that 35 degree north line and that 120 degrees east curve there. Okay, so because we know that B lies on both of those lines, we can write its coordinates. So the coordinates of B, okay, it's going to be 135 degrees north, and then comma, you make sure you put that comma there, and then 120 degrees east. So when you're drawing coordinates with latitude and longitude, it's always the north-south first, and you're going to say what angle north or what angle south, and then what angle east or what angle west. Okay, so it's kind of like X and Y, except we do north-south on the first coordinate, and then east-west on the second coordinate, and we put those in brackets, just like you would if you were doing coordinates on a number plane. Okay, so here we've got to write the position coordinates of multiple different points. Okay, so we know that point P lies on the 40 degrees north parallel, and it lies on the 110 degrees west meridian. So we can see that vertical line there is the 110 degrees west one. Okay, so that's the coordinates for point U. U's down here. So its latitude, okay, is 25 degrees south, and its longitude is 80 degrees east. Okay, so that's how we write out the coordinates of different shapes. Okay, now we've got to find points that have these coordinates. So 25 degrees south, it's going to be in this bottom line, and 110 degrees west is going to be point T, okay, because that lies on the intersection of those lines. And then for part 2, 40 degrees north, but 80 degrees east is going to be R, because that lies on the intersection of those two lines there. Okay, and then finally, if we're to move positions relative, then we just change the coordinate that we're dealing with. So if we're dealing with north-south, okay, then we're going to change that first coordinate. If we're dealing with east-west, we're going to change the second coordinate. Now, if we are south and we move north, then that means we're actually taking away 20 degrees, okay? So you've got to think about it. If you have this line here, we can sort of treat south as a negative number, but we don't actually write it as a negative. So everything down here is this. So if we move 20 degrees north, we actually end up 5 degrees south. So this is 25 degrees south. If we move 20 degrees north, we're now 5 degrees south. If we were to move another 20 degrees north from there, we would actually move to 15 degrees north. Okay, so you just got to think of it sort of like a number line, except going up and down. So just be careful about whether you add or whether you're subtracting, whether you're crossing that equator or not. It can be a little confusing. So if we think of north as positive and south as negative, and going north is adding and going south is subtracting, sometimes that can help. But we just got to remember that we don't actually use the positive or negative signs. We just say north or south. So if we're 25 degrees south and we move 20 degrees north, then we end up at 5 degrees south and we're still 100 degrees east. So that east factor doesn't change because we're just going north. For B, 20 degrees due south of Q. So in this case, we're going to add, it's going to go to 45 degrees south. We're going more south, okay, rather than less south. And then we're still 100 degrees east. Okay, 20 degrees due east. So if we are already east, we're 100 degrees east, we're already east, then we're going more east. We're going to add, so it's going to stay at 25 degrees south, but we're going to go to 120 degrees east. Okay, but if we start east and we go west, then we're becoming less east. Okay, so that's going to subtract. So it's going to be 25 degrees south, but 80 degrees east. Okay, we're still east of the prime meridian, but we're moved 20 degrees west from where we started. Okay, so hopefully you understand that. Just be careful about when you add and subtract with these different values here. So just think, if I'm south and I move more south, I'm adding to how south I am. If I'm south but I'm going north, then I'm subtracting. But then just be careful, if you cross that equator, then that can change that. So just be careful of those things there. All right. Good luck, guys, with the work today, and I'll see you later.